Michael, is it seem a little bit rich that you set the game up and give the crowd lots of entertainment? You got booed at the end?
It doesn't surprise me. Oh, look, that's the way, I'd like to see cricket played, and I certainly like to lead the Australian team playing in that type of manner. I think we had nothing to lose, obviously 3-0 down, and to me, even if we went 3-0 down, you've got to try and do everything you can to win the Test match. There's obviously the risk of losing, and that was there today as well, but I think it was what we had to try and do.
Michael, the situation with the light meter was that was the reading clearly higher than the other day?
No comparison. I don't think I'm going to get into the numbers. I think I did up there, but I won't. I'll probably get in trouble for that, so I won't get into the numbers of it. But I remember seeing the reading when I got told we had to go off the field in Manchester, and I stood in the middle of the wicket then and seen the reading, and there was a big difference. It was certainly darker out there then than in Manchester. But for us, we just have to go on the umpire's call. If they think it's safe to keep playing, then we keep playing.
Rod, what have the umpires been saying to you, like prior to that, about why they sort of haven't been checking or
I just asked the question why we haven't got the meter out here. And it took a few overs to get it out. I think all the players can certainly see, when you can see your own shadows, just going on what's happened in the past throughout this Test series, around that time is generally when it's getting close to when the umpires have consistently taken us off the field.
Yeah. Michael, do you feel the laws need changing though?
I don't feel I'm in a position to bother talking about it right now, to be honest. I think I'm dealing with the fact that we've just lost the series 3-0, been outplayed by England, and they deserve a lot of credit. For us today was about trying to win the game, and unfortunately we couldn't do that.
Michael, you appear to fire some quite strong language at Alim Dar out there. What did you say to him?
Say that again, sorry?
You seem to send some quite strong language in the direction of Alim Dar when he was trying to sort of move you away.
I can't remember what I said. I remember Alim touching me, and I asked him politely to not touch me, because if I touched him I'd be suspended for 3 games. That's all I can really remember, coincidentally.
Did you fear initially that he wasn't going to take the players off the field, even though the reading was way higher? Is that...
No. I thought once they didn't have the meter out there, once they took the reading, I knew it was going to be dark. I was batting at the time in Manchester. I knew, fielding, can't remember batting, I think. I knew it was going to be darker than what it was in Manchester.
But
Michael, what were your plans when you went out to bat in the second innings as a team?
To be as positive as we could. We knew we had a maximum of probably 20 overs to bat. And then I was going to declare and have a red hot crack this afternoon.
And what sort of target? Exactly what you achieved, or some other?
Pretty similar, yeah. Yep. We're pretty much spot on to the numbers I would have liked. Obviously, you'd always like more runs, and you'd always like more overs to have a chance to bowl the opposition out, because the wicket was still pretty good. But the positive was, I think it was a score that England didn't think it was too many runs, so we're not going to bother. I think it kept them in the game as well, and a lot of the time, I believe that's probably when you're at your best chance of taking wickets and winning the game, when both teams are able to still win the game.
At the start of play, the narrative sort of felt like it was you guys were ending the series as the aggressors and England were on the defensive. Do you think they helped change that a little today in the evening session?
You have to ask that again, sorry.
So at the start of the play, maybe the feeling was that you were the aggressive side and England were a defensive side. Do you feel that changed in the last session?
I don't think it matters how you play. Well, no, that's incorrect. It does matter how you play, but I think the result is there. England have won 3-0, so yeah, I don't think it matters how positive. I think today we didn't have much to lose, so it was about trying to set a game up, and then England certainly deserve credit the way they come out and batted in the second innings. They tried to win the game, so I think that's great for cricket. Hopefully the people enjoyed that.
Michael, obviously in the whole context of the series now, you've sort of threatened victory in 4 of the 5 games, with the sort of rare situation where the next one's so quickly after it. How do you look at that? Do you think, great, we've nearly got there, or we haven't got over the line again?
No, I certainly think we take a lot of positives, especially out of the last 3 Test matches. Again, maybe I'm biased, but I think we would have won in Manchester if it didn't rain. We got close in Durham after being 1 for 150, so we're in a position to win that Test match, batting last. And then no rain yesterday, we would have had a fantastic game of Test cricket. So I think there's a lot of positives that come out of the last 3 Test matches. I'm really pleased with the boys. Some special personal achievements. I think obviously Chris Rogers and Steve Smith to score their first hundreds for Australia is outstanding. Shane Watson batted beautifully for a big 100. And our bowlers fought their backsides off the whole series. I think our bowlers deserve a lot of credit, and especially Ryan Harris, who got the Australian Man of the Series and rightfully deserved it.
Yeah, and there's the sort of inability to get over the line, sort of not just in this series, but preceding ones against South Africa, for example. Is that a major concern now for the next series?
I don't think so. I think once we get a win up, we'll run with that momentum. I think we do need to certainly look at the whole series as a whole and look at areas where we can improve. But I think we'll take a lot of confidence out of the way we've played the last 3 Test matches, and hopefully that shows in the 2020s coming up and the one-dayers before we... Well, then I think we've got 7 one-days in India before the Australian summer, so there's still plenty of cricket for us, and hopefully we can start winning a few of the series before we even get to the Ashes.
England had a bit of criticism for their tactics. Did you feel Australia could actually learn something from the way they played?
I think England deserve credit for winning the series 3-0. There's always more than one way to skin a cat, there's no doubt about that, and I think they deserve their credit for the way for winning.
Do you feel Ali Dar pushed you there at the end?
Look, no, like I say, it's certainly, from my point of view, I have no issue. I just know a player is not allowed to touch an umpire. But for me personally, I have no issue with it at all.
Michael, you talked about a lot of bowlers. Young James Faulkner started the day with no wickets, ended with 6.
Yeah, exciting.
And bowled pretty well under pretty extreme pressure.
Yeah, exciting for us. He's a wonderful wonderful guy to have around the group. He's a tough competitor, as you would have seen on the field. And I think he's got a bright future for Australian cricket. He's he can bat, he can bowl, and it was nice to see him score his first run and take his first wicket. I thought he bowled really well today in both innings, and he's quite reliable, I guess, as you've seen in the shorter form, bowling at the death for us. So I think he played a big part today for us as well.
Yeah. Michael, you've now played 9 Test matches overseas this year, where in each instance the pitch has been made seemingly to order for the home side. Has that, over that period, in all those 9 Test matches, has that changed the way you look at pitch preparation for home Test matches in future?
In my time as an Australian player, I don't think I've ever seen an Australian wicket change too much. I think generally you know what you're going to get. So, I don't see any reason why they would change that. I think, you want a good even battle between bat and ball, and spin will definitely play a part as the wickets deteriorate in Australia because it's nice and hot. To me, that's how you see some great cricket, and that's what it's about. I think at the end of the day, that's part of playing international cricket, is you tour around the world and you play in different conditions, and you've got to find a way to adapt and have success. Unfortunately for us now in India and in the UK here in England, we haven't been able to have success, so we're going to keep working hard.
Clearly though, there's a lot of there's communication among a lot of countries around the world about what a team wants on their home services. Do you see that there needs to be more of that in Australia? It hasn't, that's not traditional.
I think we've had enough success in Australia how the wickets are, so I don't see any reason to go and doctor them. I think I want to see good, even wickets, good contest between bat and ball. That's how I think you play your best cricket. That's how the people watch you and get to see some great cricket. So I'm confident if the wickets, how Australian wickets are, we play our best cricket, we'll have success.
Is there ill feeling at the moment between the teams, would you say, Michael? A lot of sort of...
Is there an ill feeling?
Yeah, between the teams, a lot of fiery exchanges through this match.
Look, I think both teams are always competitive on the field. I think you're always going to get that. I think that's every team you play against. You want to win, but I can guarantee you, once I get back in the change room, the first thing we'll do is go and have a beer with the England players and congratulate them. I think it's part and parcel of our game. You fight hard on the field, but you respect each other off the field.
And what do you make of Brad Patton's achievement?
Yeah, it's obviously it's good for the old boy. He's it's great to see him playing well. I think he's kept really well throughout this series, and yeah, I'm extremely pleased for him.
John, Michael, what are the fundamental things do you think you have to do better to win the Ashes back in a couple of months' time?
Score more runs, take more wickets for less runs, don't drop a catch. Look, it's at the end of the day, if you look through the series, I think our batting is probably the area that's let us down, and most probably in our first innings. You know, in these conditions, when the wicket deteriorates, the ball spins more. Second innings is always going to be difficult, but I think our first innings batting needs to continue to improve, and I think the boys showed that this Test match. So I'm extremely pleased with the way the guys played in this Test match.
Do you think you're close to a team that could win them back though?
Yeah, I do. I'm not a selector, obviously, but I think we've seen, you know, some real positives, especially individually, from the guys that have been around the group. You know, if somebody's going to get selected in the Ashes team, they've got time as well. If they're not in this group, they've got time to perform. I think we've got 3 first-class games before the first Test match. So, you know, players need to stand up. For us, Test players at the moment, we need to get back and make sure we're scoring runs if we're playing one-day cricket or first-class cricket. And then the selectors will work out what they think the best 11 is for the first Test in Brisbane. But I think we've seen some real positives from the blokes over, especially throughout this Test match.
Michael, you've been rightly praised for positive captaincy, which is obviously a good thing for Test cricket in this day and age. But it's at a similar stage of England's development as a Test, when they first have to learn how not to lose. Is that something you need to take in mind, bearing in mind lost 4-0?
One team's going to win, one team's going to lose. To me, that's the way I've always played my cricket. Try and win every game. Every opportunity, you try and win. Like today, there's a risk you're going to lose, but I'm not scared of that risk.
Yeah.
Don't ask it now.
Sorry?
Don't do it.
Brian Harris, how bad is he?
He's unbelievable. Well, statistics don't lie, I guess, in Rhino's case, that's for sure, and his statistics are as good as anyone I've ever played with. You know, he'll just keep going. I just sent him off the field today because he wasn't fit to bowl at the end there. But he doesn't give up, he doesn't stop. I love him being in the team, and most important, he's a great man.
And how is he fitness-wise? Is it
yeah, no, I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be fine. I think it was just, he's bowled a lot throughout this series. He certainly deserves a break, and I think he's got one coming up.
And, sorry, last one. Do you think that England played particularly single cricket on that third day? They scored a 2 and over on the third day, and they scored a 5 and over today.
We must have bowled extremely well.
That's what they said. You must have bowled badly today.
Yeah, I'm not going there. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your support as well throughout the series.